and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all form of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle of all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Jill Burnett lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And now this is a good time to just keep anchoring in that consciousness of oneness and wholeness. And the band will start playing in just a couple of minutes. Service starts at 10:30 with a sing-along.
Good morning. Thank you. And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living San Clemente. We're so glad you're here with us this beautiful June morning. And we'd like you to join us on our first sing-along song by Michael Gott called Right Here, Right Now.
Right here, right now, gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need I now receive, and it's done to me as I believe. Right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, I'm gonna make a brand new start. Right here, right now, gonna make a change in my heart. Everything I need I now receive, and it's done unto me as I believe. Right here, right now, where I am. Right here, right now, where I am. One more. Right here, right now, where I am.
All right. I'd like to introduce our musicians this morning. We have on guitar, Ed Cosby. On bass, hiding back there, Mr. Bill Dixon. David Page on drums. I'm Diane King Dan over here on keys. Our song leaders this morning are Kimberly and Wade Woldridge. And our guest vocalist is the beautiful Sinya, who will be singing for you very soon. And now it's your turn to stand on up and join us on our next sing-along song, which is God is My Source.
Here we go. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need.
And now it's time to meet and greet your neighbor. Go say hi. And come on back because we need you to join us on our last choruses. And here we are. God is my source.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
And isn't that the truth? Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in beautiful San Clemente. I'll tell you, I was up north for a couple of weeks and it was gorgeous up there in the mountains with the snow on Mount Lassen. It was gorgeous, warm and beautiful. The lakes are all full. Yes. I went over Oroville and all of them are full. It's just fabulous. But when I came home on Friday night and stood on my deck and watched that sunset in San Clemente, I was happy to be home. So welcome home to San Clemente. My name is Judy Chapman and I'm one of the assistant ministers here at the center. And I am so delighted that you decided and got that divine elbow to get up and come to the center this morning. You know, something you're going to hear today, maybe you've already heard it, maybe you've already felt it. Something here is going to change your life. Isn't that exciting? Yes. So we are a center that provides for you the tools for your spiritual growth so that you can make your life more alive and open and expanded, because we're here to live our life out loud as spiritual beings. We teach an affirmative prayer here, and so that's what we're going to do right now. So please join me in consciousness. For we are one. I, you, he, she, we. We are one. We are one with that energy of love. We are one with the absolute. We are one with the divine intelligence. We are one. So I am that I am. That joy, that compassion, that kindness, that prosperity, and that abundance. I am that I am. And I choose to call this vibration, this energy, this love, I choose to call it God. But it's known by many names. So whatever name it is, it's all good because it is all spirit. So knowing that there is only one essence, one energy, I know that each one is a sacred activity of this essence, of this presence. Within us are all the qualities of God. And we express them with our thoughts, with our actions, with our words. And so today I affirm and I decree that all is well. And this truth that I speak sets us free from any discord or chaos, and lifts our consciousness to the highest vibration. Each one of us here is alive, awake, and aware of this divine essence, which we call spirit. And today we open our hearts and we listen with our spiritual ears to this fabulous Sunday service, to the message from Dr. Heather, from the beautiful music, and from the words spoken from our friends and our loved ones. And this morning, we especially honor that beautiful being of light, our fathers. These people that love us, surround us. We honor and welcome them, and we thank them for all their love. So I place these words into divine mind, where they have already been created exactly as we believe. And I fill my heart with gratitude and love and thanksgiving for this time together, for this teaching, for this love. I release, I let go of this affirmative prayer into the divine mind, and I release it with confidence, with joy, and with love. And if you agree with me, please say with me, and so it is. And now I'd like to welcome and ask to the platform Fred Mercado, and he will be reading our affirmation.
Good morning. All right, so I'll read the affirmation. It'll come up on the screen and you'll then read it with me. I am fueled by a vision, supported by life's surplus, and guided with inherent wisdom. I listen to the call of what's mine to do and gladly answer. And so it is. So if you'll join me. I am fueled by a vision, supported by life's surplus, and guided with inherent wisdom. I listen for the call of what's mine to do and gladly answer. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Now, please welcome Senior.
I am not the person that you think I am. I am not the person that you think that I should be. I'm not the person that you think I am. I am just a passenger. You are not the person that you say you are. You are not the person that has to try so hard. You're not the person that you say you are. You are just a passenger. And it's a good ride most of the time. It's a good ride. We are not the people we pretend to be. We are not the people living inside these screens. Not the people that we think we need. We are all just passengers. And it's a good ride most of the time. It's a good ride. It's a good life most of the time. It's a good life.
Senior. So glad to have her with us this morning. And please welcome our very own Reverend Heather Dawn Clark.
Good morning. Good to see you. We're continuing the global vision, and the statement we're contemplating today is part of the global vision. It says, we see a world in which people have enough food, homes, and a sense of belonging. We envision a world in which people have enough food, homes, and a sense of belonging. Well, our writer is the wonderful David Alton. The first thing he says is, systemic issues can only be mastered by articulating a vision. We need a vision first before we take part in any kind of community service, any kind of giving back. And Holmes reminds us of this. He says there's a law of unfoldment in man, a law of unfoldment, which says he can only advance from going where he is to where the place where he would like to be. This is not because the law is limited, but because it is the law. As man unfolds in his mentality, the law automatically reacts to him. The way to work is to begin right where we are, and through constantly applying ourselves to the truth, we gradually increase in wisdom and understanding for this way alone. And that is from the Science Mind textbook, page 271. What Holmes is saying is something that you really know, and that is you have to start where you are. You can't start where you are not. You can't jump ahead, and it makes no sense to jump behind, to go backwards. You have to start where you are right now in consciousness. And so that means if there's stuff going on, you handle it. You look after it. If there's something that needs your attention, you look after it. You pay attention to it. If something is calling you to be more, do more, great. You look after it. But he's saying, so those of you, how many of you have taken Mary Morrissey's Prosperity Plus? Anybody hand up? I want to see who's here. Okay, so the Prosperity Plus class is one of the things she concentrates on is articulating your vision. So all of us have a vision that have taken Mary's class, right? You have a personal vision for you. And in addition to that, you could have a vision for humanity, for the rest of the world, for where we live, for our planet. And our first vision casters for many of us are our fathers. So we honor fathers today. Happy Father's Day to all fathers and all people who took that father role. But unfortunately, just the men got the treat. So make sure you get one. The kids are passing them out, so make sure you get one. Anyway, I wanted to start with a little story that, that I've heard. And it's a story about a beautiful spring morning. The first morning, this person just got up and, oh, it's like a glorious day. I'm going to go golfing. I'm going to call in sick and go golfing. So it was a priest, and he went, he called in, someone else took over. Anyway, it was quite a complex course. And the first shot was extremely difficult. And he hit the ball square, straight and true, and then a little bit of help from an eagle. That ball went right in the hole, a hole in one. And St. Peter said to God, how could you let him do this? And God said, who's he going to tell? He was playing the hooky. Okay. So for many of us that were raised in Christian religions, the Father is an inner Father as well, the Father within. And we say, the Father within doeth the work. It's not the... When we think of the Father part of the Trinity, we're thinking about the chooser, the Spirit. Now, I know women are sitting there thinking, because we do this all the time, well, I'm the one that chooses. Yes, you might be the one who chooses. That doesn't mean anything. It's still the masculine part of the metaphysical part of you, the chooser. Okay, so I would like to show you next. David Alt has put together a video, and pay attention to the video because no, there won't be questions. There could be questions. I think you're going to like it. So when we're ready.
For a moment, every eye sees a petal begin its journey from stem to ground. And in that thimbleful of time, all worry becomes extinct. All futurizing over what might be or what could happen ceases. And the world, in relaxation, unites in the joy of the now. Yes, imagine for a moment there is no worry. For a moment, every inhale welcomes wellness, and the world feels relief from the accompanying pains of disease. The air hums with the sighs of billions expressing their collective relief. Yes, imagine for a moment there is no pain. For a moment, everybody wins, and the victory circle is electric with the hugs, handshakes, and prayerful bows of authentic acknowledgement. It is the delicious moment when every mind with every heart conceives the truth that there is more than enough for all. Yes, imagine for a moment that everybody wins. For a moment, all are able to forgive everything and everyone from every page of the past, every thought of separation, every grievance and grudge. Brother understands brother, sister their sister, child understands parent, and parent their child. And the world is awash with liberation. Yes, imagine for a moment that all forgive. For a moment, there is no hunger, and the bellies of all children and adults are filled with the precise nourishment their body is craving. Food is equally portioned and equally shared, and all races and religions discover that by sharing, one need never suffer from hunger again. Yes, imagine for a moment there is an end to hunger. For a moment, every person, everywhere, is active in their passion, doing what they love. Self-doubt has evaporated, and each heart beats with the rhythm of confidence. Creativity is a sacred act for the soul without concern for recompense or approval. Time and deadline is replaced with being lost in the joy of doing what one loves. Yes, imagine for a moment that everyone is living their passion. For a moment, every conscious thought tilts towards reverent action for the earth. The planet is nurtured and treated with sacred intention. Every ounce of air and water is pure. Pollution is a distant memory, and each inhabitant contributes to unprecedented ecological stability. Yes, imagine for a moment the earth is healed. For a moment, every heart has someone to love and someone who loves them back. For every soul, there is a connection, and for every connection, there is an appreciative soul. Loyalty, devotion, and respect are as natural and effortless to embody as breathing. Yes, imagine for a moment that true love exists for all. And with each imagined moment linked to the other, we stretch those moments to an occasion, those occasions to hours, those hours into days. And in those collection of days, where the imagination is free to think as big and as grand as it can, we begin to see and feel the shifts, our planet, our hearts, our passions, our lives. Yes, imagine for a moment everything is expanding and guiding us into a new era of living.
David a hand. You can find that video on YouTube if you want to watch it again. I find it very inspirational. And just type in David Alt, A-U-L-T, for those of you who don't know David. He's put together a wonderful piece there with some great ideas about a world that works for everyone. They may not be your ideas. If they are your ideas, then it's a great thing. Are you using your imagination to think of things that are lovely and good and sweet and enlivening and scintillating and filled with energy? Are you imagining love? And as he said, everyone has someone to love and is loved. Are you using that imagination, that power, that gift for good? Not only for yourself, but for yourself is a great place to start. Because when you've fallen in love with you, when you really know who you are, when you know you're one with Source, then you understand your right and responsibility to use that power of imagination for the good of all, for all humankind. I had quite a week this week. I started it on Monday. I was called by a woman that attends the Huntington Beach Church and she was looking for a minister or practitioner, actually for a minister that would do a final blessing of a body, which actually should have been a priest because it was really last rites, but they called me, so I went. And it was a very interesting thing because the way we do it isn't what was expected. And I was just going by intuition. Well, what's happening now? Because when I see a body that there's no life anymore, that's the body. It's no longer the person, because the person has passed to the next dimension, in my opinion. But I had to honor the beliefs of the people who were there. It was just the executor and the caregivers that were there. The wife was also in hospice, so and was not able to function or be part of the conversation. Anyway, it was quite an interesting way. And then some of you saw the article in the Register on the um, vigil for Orlando in the Velvet Lounge. I've never before been to the Velvet Lounge, which is a gay bar in Santa Ana, but we did a vigil there, and we did it there because the ministers thought it was important to us as clergy to go where the people were, not expect them to come here. And part of what we did was we very slowly and reverently lit a candle for each of the names and ages was called. It was very moving, of the victims of the Orlando shooting. And people spoke. There was a lot of anger. It shocked me. The anger was with the ministers, and like, what's that coming from? But anyway, there was a lot of anger. And one of the most significant things was we had a Sikh woman was there and 2 Muslim women. And I had a conversation with them afterwards, and they said, please don't judge our religion by this action. We are taught to love. We're taught never to do any violence and never to harm another being, another person. And I was so glad. They were young. They were, I'd say, well, everyone's young to me, but in their 20s or 30s. They weren't, they weren't middle-aged, and they weren't old. They were young people with their lives ahead of them. And I thought, how great that, first of all, they were there and they were in support. And I met the husband and wife. So they were there not because they were part of the community, neither were they clergy. They were there to say, we support this idea. So that to me is a world that works for everyone. Okay, so what else did David have to say about this? He said, in order to get in touch with your vision, imagination is the beginning, and how important imagination is. So he says, sometimes, he actually says, far too often we're seduced into taking actions that are fueled energetically by fighting against something. We may convince ourselves that it is our job to fight for, fix, or force a change. But Mother Teresa said that she was never going to go to a protest because that was against war. But if you gave a peace rally, she'd be the first one there. To be for peace is a different thing. So we may lose ourselves in the manufacturing of a purpose or calling to bring change to the world before we've taken the time to cultivate and nurture our own inner awareness of universal truth. Let me just say that again. It's so important. Sometimes we feel called to take action, but if we haven't done the deep work on ourselves, then the action is taken from the incorrect place, from the wrong place. Not just unskillful, but it's like doing something out of anger. You know that energy is going with you, and whatever that action is, the action might be one of helpfulness, but if it's done with anger, you're poisoning everything. The angry person is poisoning everything around them. So it's about doing your own work, looking at yourself. What is causing me this anger? Why am I thinking life should be a different way from what it is? So our opportunity and responsibility is to bring the imagined state, the wholeness we know exists in all situations. Now, if I've given this lesson last week, I'm going to give you an assignment because I think it's brilliant. David said, this week, your assignment is to watch the news and to reframe every news, every idea in the news in a positive way. What would you have liked to see happen rather than what is being reported? How could it be reframed, retold, reimagined in a positive light? There was a celebration. There was a, so I'm not going to take the shooting. We'll take something else, but just take any kind of news item that is a negative thing and just see, can you put a positive spin on it? Or maybe it can't be spun positively, but can you reimagine it in a positive way? Can you imagine it as a life-affirming thing, or as a life-giving thing, or a building thing, a consciousness building, or an actual building thing? That's how we change the collective consciousness. When we put our attention in what's wrong and are engulfed in what shouldn't be, we've given all of our attention to something unlike the truth of our being. Because the truth of our being is whole, complete, perfect, divine love. Perfect in every way, perfect wholeness. So I know when we are, when there's something going on and we're suffering or in a place of fear because of a family member or friend, that it's tempting to go down that rabbit hole of what negative things could happen. But I'm saying we know better. We are the ones who can have a new idea. We can have a new idea every time we watch something that is disempowering, rude, disrespectful, hurtful. We could reimagine it in a different way. So, how do you do that? First and foremost, you have to get in touch with, what are you passionate about? What is your desire? You know, we're already experiencing what we desire. At some level, this is it. This is it. So, what is the desire, your desire, for the people on the planet? Your family, if you're a parent, for your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, even unto the 7th generation, what's your desire? What is your wish and hope? When you begin to see that in your mind's eye as already happening vibrantly, synchronistically, like, wow, progressively, wholly alive, you become a match to the vision you're holding. While it's a wish or hope, while it's a fantasy, you haven't made the connection. So what do you do next? Get still and know. Get still. Listen. Listen to the voice of God within you. And then be in oneness and union with your objective, what it is that you desire. Is it peace you desire? Be in union with peace. Is it freedom you desire? Be in union with freedom. Is it love you desire? Then be in union with love. And then the next point is to cultivate that vision. That means spend some time imagining a world that works the way you want it to. Imagine that. Practice it, and it does take practice, because our world gives us minute by minute distractions. So there's after the Second World War, there was Dr. W. Edwards Deming, who was invited by the Japanese industrial leaders and engineers to rebuild Japan after the war. And what he did, the technique is known as Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N. I just about said Z, my home roots are showing. Z-E-N, also known as continuous improvement. It's a long-term approach to work that systematically seeks to achieve small incremental changes in processes in order to improve efficiency. I think Kaizen is our spiritual practice. It's our spiritual life. It's our spiritual path because it's small incremental changes. Most of us, some of us have an epiphany. Our eyes are opened like Paul and the road to Damascus would have a change in consciousness. But for mostly, it's little by little by little, gradually, incremental changes for good. Is it worth it to spend time, your time, to invest you in this? Well, you know, here's the thing. The more you see it in your mind's eye, the more it will objectify in the outer world where you'll actually see it out here. The more you establish it as true, you can see it, feel it, taste it, it's true, then it will be true. So I think it's worth it. So he says also, then, and this is a really good one, those of you who remember when David was here, was talking about his work in Cambodia. He goes every year and he works with these children. He says, so whatever you're drawn toward is your cause. And he says, and I believe he's true, our inherent empathetic nature wants to help, support, and love. Let me say that again. Our inherent empathetic nature. We're already empathetic. And what we have determined to do this effectively, we must first create the vision for that service. So we see ourselves taking action in some way. Now, here are some suggestions. He says, let your action vision have pure intent. Pure intent. Pure intent to simply not overlaying your opinions, beliefs, perceptions, but just to be in service, to offer yourself in service purely without agenda. Dr. James Golden, whenever he's led us in retreat, always teaches us about selfless service, like doing whatever needs doing, whether it's the most unglamorous job or the most glamorous, doing it with joy because we're serving the sacred. So, and then next point, he says, let your action vision be fluid. In other words, the solutions that exist in our world need our willing flexibility. So it might not be exactly as you envisioned the process. Be flexible. And then the third point is let your action vision do no harm. Let your action vision do no harm. What appears to be the best in you in regards to approach and tangible action steps may very well be incongruent with other cultural practices and customs. Learn sensitivity and let your sensibilities be humbled. I was very blessed to be in France during on the 14th of July one year, and you know that and anyone know why that's a significant day? It's the Bastille Day. Of course, that's their national holiday. That's their national holiday. It's like our 4th of July or Canada's 1st of July. It's a very important holiday for them, and it felt to me like we were somewhat, even though I was assured by my traveling companion that they love us, that we were somewhat not in the right place for their holiday. for their vacation. So it's about being sensitive and being willing to be flexible. Other cultures are not the same as ours. Doesn't make them wrong or right. It just makes them different. And so learn to be sensible. Now, here's the very most important thing. Whatever you're looking with is what you're going to see. Whatever lens you're looking with, how you're perceiving your world is exactly what you're going to see. My dad, I've spoken of him before. He was really with me, especially last night. He's been gone since I first moved to the United States in 1993. He passed 2 months after I left Canada. And while he was well, he was the epitome of kindness, patience, goodness, wisdom. And one of the sweetest things, the two sweet things I want to share with you. So I might have mentioned before that I've had several marriages. And in addition to that, I had several relationships. Now, there's been a long hiatus. It's fine. I made up for it in my youth. But anyway, in one of those times, I thought it was the love of my life, and he left me, and blah blah blah, old story. And my dad wrote me a letter. He quoted Tennyson. I mean, who else would do that? And the quote was simply, "'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all." And I thought, who else gets a dad that's that kind, that sensitive, that caring, that understanding? He didn't say, I'm going to go and hunt down the son of a gun. Didn't say any of that, which might have been nice to have that support too, but my women friends are of that ilk. But he said, remember, you opened your heart, you took a chance. And that's what we need to continue to do. Open your heart to your vision, first and foremost, of your own life. And then, what do you envision for your community, which, by the way, is bigger than you think it is? You matter. Your thoughts matter. Your actions matter. Your consciousness is supreme. I'm so grateful that you're here this morning. And so it is. So it is. Thank you. And so Diane's going to set us up for prayer. I'm going to pray for the highest and best vision for each one. And I know that there are some specific things I'm going to include, like well-being. I see some people that would benefit from that, including always myself. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a father's strong embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace. Indeed, we are held in the hands of grace, for there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is whole, complete, and perfect right here, right now. But I know that the mind of God is infinite, filled with infinite possibilities. And so starting right where I am right now today, I speak my word for myself in the first person and for each one who is in agreement with any part of this prayer. It is yours. This is what I know is true. I know that my consciousness is here to raise up myself, my community, my country, the world. I know that I am here on purpose, that I am here to give of myself, like the lilies give, easily and freely, without question, to be fully present in that giving. I am here knowing that I am one with the wholeness of the divine. Every cell, every tissue, every function, and every fiber is in perfect alignment and is in perfect alignment with the truth of my being. There's a pattern of perfection, of perfect life within me. It's God's life as me. There is this life that is mine, is a life that is dynamic and filled with good, filled with beauty and love, filled with greatness, and filled with the awareness of the presence of God. I know that mentally, my mind is sharp and alert, for it's God's mind. I know financially, I'm abundant, for I'm one with the source of all supply. I know that I contribute because I'm one with life. And so I know that I make a difference by giving of my time and my talent and my treasure. I make a difference. I'm here to make a difference and be part of this family. I know that this is the day that I move more greatly into my deep compassion. And with a heart filled with compassion, I give of myself. Whether it's a smile, whether it's a handshake, whether it's a hug, or whether it's an act, a random act of kindness or a planned act of kindness. That the who I am is louder than anything else. And I let it proclaim itself in all of my actions. I do take a moment every day and imagine a world that is working for everyone, where all beings are held in deep respect and love, and where there is deep, deep peace. I know for anyone that with any other concerns, that the God of your understanding and my understanding already knows the answer. So in the silence, make it welcome. Let it be the truth. Let it be your experience. For this is why you've come. I know that my light shines so that your light can shine. I see it so clearly, and I'm very grateful it is so. And with my heart filled with gratitude for every word I have spoken and for the intentions behind this word, I simply place this word in law. I give it to God. I place it in the hands of God. The mind of God has it. It must act upon it. And please help me anchor this by saying with me, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Please welcome back Signia.
a flat tire already. It's gonna be a long drive. Gotta make sure we're strapped in. Okay. Don't know if this land was made for you and me. In the night sky of New York shines the torchlight of Lady Liberty. 'Cause I can't see through the orange of the high rises lining every street. But I believe that she's watching over all of us tossing in our sleep. Don't know if this land was made for you and me. So I set out on this great blue highway, trying to see. Sunrise pours out on the horizon like a Georgia peach. When the juice of the fruit and your drop tongue finally meet. And in the rearview mirror, the skyline swallowed by the trees. Don't know if this land was made for you and me. As I glide through the high ground in the grassland of Tennessee. Low fog left from nightfall starts to lift as I leave her soggy peaks. With the sunlight behind me, I follow shadows cast from back east. What's left of Buffalo roam the pastures like a passing dream. Don't know if this land was made for you and me. In the flatlands in Nebraska, I can feel my whole body breathe. Wind moves like water through the prairies, painting pictures in the wheat. Like sand along the shorelines, the switchgrass is dragged out to sea. The sweet warbling of a meadowlark fades in the breeze. Don't know if this thing was made for you and me. Across the Rockies further west and in the desert I hear the silence speak. High noon in Nevada and the sand dunes listen as they gleam. Not a movement as they heed the hush, and I wonder why can't we? Dust spirals on the highway and scatters like a laugh that's free. Don't know if this land was made for you and me. When I reach California, the sun leads me straight to the beach. The Pacific's like a skillet as the light sizzles out of my reach. Stars rise like steam in the twilight between redwood leaves. I've searched for answers in this land, from sea to shining sea. I watch the water take the sand and bury my 2 feet.
Senior. Beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. If the stewards would please come forward, it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. I like to take my gift and put it over my heart so I can feel the love flowing in, because I love to give and I'm giving to my spiritual family. So please repeat after me. Divine love in me blesses and consecrates all that I am, all that I do, all that I give. I give with love, and I love to give. And so it is.
We have a special treat today for our offertory song. That's Wade Holdridge.
Thank you. This is a song from my upcoming Broadway collection. It's called The Mason, but it's about my dad. He builds a house with his hands. 30 years go by, it stands. It stands where nothing stood, a house of stone. The mason sleeps real good. He does his work day flies. Quitting time's a big surprise. And then it's one more stone to get just right. It's always one more stone before the night. Every house he builds, every stone he lays, it's not just making money or counting off the days. He builds a house with his hands. 100 years go by, it stands. It tells you who he was. Life goes fast, but the work a mason does, it's made to last. Yes, the work a mason does. It's made to last.
Wade, wonderful.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day, everyone. Here we go. Let's get those kidlets in here.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.